morning and happy Tuesday 10 at 10. I am Richard Charpentier, 35 years in the bakery industry, certified master baker and bakery scientist and a baker influencer. So welcome to Tuesday 10 at 10. And today we will be answering questions sent from bakers answered by yours truly. So let's get started. Our first question is regarding frozen dough. And they want to know how long does it take to thaw frozen bread dough to bake a loaf of bread, and they do not have a retarder box. So freezing, a lot of bakers who are limited with the amount of space in their bakery tend to rely on frozen raw dough, which is doable. So all you do is take it out of the freezer, usually to thaw is the best practice, cover it up and let it proof or let it sit in your refrigerator for at least overnight, at least between 8 to 12 hours. And refrigerator usually are between 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which should be allowing the yeast to slowly get activated and expand the bread. So once you come back the next day, then you can shape it, put it in the pan or mix cinnamon rolls, and then after that go through a proofing system. And if you don't have a proof box, then you can leave it outside as long as you prevent any skin to form on top of your crust. So that's the main practice. If you're very limited with that, and an important thing to think about is how long does your dough sit in the freezer, because there's a shelf life. The yeast will eventually not work. So that could also impact the overall quality and consistency of the frozen raw dough you're using to make your finished product. So I hope it helped, and thank you for sending your question. Now on another question. It's something that talks about information that is on a Bakerpedia web page on water absorption capacity of flour. And there's apparently a table that shows, the different flour and their strength of their way they can retain water within the product. Because if you think of protein, flour is composed of protein, starches, different minerals, some fiber, etc. And each of those components have a different affinity for water and a different water holding capacity. And the question is there something for oil absorption capacity of flour? And that's something I will bring it to the Bakerpedia team to see if there's something that could be done. But a lot of it will vary based on the type, again, similarly to water, how your flour, the composition of your flour, the amount of minerals, the amount of protein, the amount of starches. And I'm sure a lot of different factors will apply there, and see if that table could be added to their website. I will definitely refer to that. But if you want to see, there's at one point, if it's just flour that you were trying to see, but also as a formulation is put together, other ingredients within your formulation will also affect that, not just the flour alone, plus the mechanical process, the mixing process, and the time and the temperature will also play other crucial factors is measuring oil absorption capacity of a flour. So I hope it helps, and we'll follow up with your question. And now for our last question of the day, someone wants to know the difference between I want to know what difference between CSL and SSL. So for those who are not familiar, it's calcium stearate lactylate and sodium stearate lactylate, SSL and CSL. They're both used as dough conditioners in the bakery industry. It can be used for both cakes and breads in the majority of cases, yeast leaven and chemically leavened. So the SSL is known as the better crumb softener of the two, as the calcium stearoyl lactylate, the CSL, is known to be a best as a dose strengthener when you have a lot of processing and machines, and then might make the dough a little stronger, as the SSL tends to soften the crumb over time to get a soft crumb. And then both can be used for shelf life. The amounts are similar that you can use, but I recommend doing a lot of R&D and testing in your bakery with the product to ensure that it does work for you. And also, one of the major difference between the two is one is a calcium based and the other one is a sodium based. So if you have a ingredient, a nutritional label you're building, of course, the one with the SSL will bring a little extra sodium. So there's limitations on sodium. I recommend that you look it up for yourself. So that's it for today. Happy baking to all of you, my friends, and I'll see you next week for another Tuesday 10 at 10. Thank you.